Hey everybody, my name is Nate Walker and I'm your Cybersecurity Readiness Coordinator. This week we're going to be talking about passwords. Great passwords, by the way. Really, really strong ones like this example. Just kidding, this is not a strong password. But most of us have used a password like this, especially when we have to make an account on some website that we probably don't want to make an account on, but we have to for work or some other reason. So we go and look at all of the rules that the website has, such as at least 6 characters, one uppercase, one lowercase letter, a number, and a special character. So this password may meet all of those requirements that have been laid out, but is it a strong password? Probably not. Now, this also meets those requirements. This is a very strong password. We can look at it and it just looks like a jumble of characters. The downside to this is this doesn't meet our rules. This isn't something that we're actually going to remember. This isn't something that's fun to type out. Imagine getting to that HK2 and wondering if you hit the 2 key or the 3 key. So now you've deleted all of this and you have to go and enter it back in. So great password, really strong, but no one's actually going to use it. It's not a human password. So what we're going to be covering today is how to bridge the gap between that password 1 and this situation of a password. So we can start out by looking at the rules that constitute most passwords. These are pretty common: pet name, family member's name, important date, stuff like that. The downside of this is if you have a pet named Rover, you probably post pictures of Rover on your Facebook, Instagram, maybe even your LinkedIn, and much of this is public facing. So it's pretty easy to figure out, well, if your dog's name is Rover, your password probably is some play on Rover. Same for family member's name and important dates. So these work, these are better than just password 1. However, it's still relatively easy to guess these. So instead, we can come up with some more robust rules, like using a memorable phrase. So now we're using a bunch of words. We can make sure we're not using words from the dictionary. No sequential numbers, interspersed characters, small strings of text at the end. Now, all these things move us towards that more obscure password that nobody's going to remember. But if we're careful in how we apply these, we can actually end up with a password that we're going to remember. So here's some examples. My parents have a dog that's a Kelpie named Daisy. So we can start out by writing Kelpie, Daisy. 2 things I'm not going to forget. Now we can satisfy our basic rules. That is uppercase character, lowercase characters, numbers, special characters, stuff like that. But now we can start putting in our advanced rules. And in this, I used interspersion, which is just placing the characters, or shifting the characters, I should say. So they're in a way that is memorable to me, but isn't going to be super easy to figure out. This just looks like a whole string of text. Now at the very end, just to make it extra safe, I can add in one more rule, which is this QAZ at the very end of it. That's just a random string of text, and that happens to be the leftmost keys on a standard English keyboard. So we've started out with something that you could absolutely find on social media, a Kelpie named Daisy. And we've ended up with this thing that is a hacker's worst nightmare. So I implore you to sit down and do this yourself. Come up with a phrase or anything that you will remember right off the bat. Might be something funny your kids said, might be a funny memory, something like that. And then start to play with it. And through the process of developing this and adding layers and layers of password integrity, you're going to get something that you remember and that is going to be really hard for anyone else to figure out. Thanks for being here this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, everybody. Be safe.